Welcome everyone to kind of the start of a new series on Hearts of Iron 3. This won't actually be part of the series, this is kind of the prelude, I guess. I just want to talk about a few of the things I'm interested in Hearts of Iron 3, and talk a little bit about the game because I think it's great, talk about my mod choice, and give you guys an option to express your interest in a particular nation. So I will be playing with Hearts of Iron 3. This is the most recent version of the last patch. And in fact, their finest hour changed quite a few things. My history with Hearts of Iron is I actually now own 2 copies because I bought our original CD like right when the game came out. Hearts of Iron 2 was one of my favorite games, so it was just an obvious choice for me to get Hearts of Iron 3 immediately. I had an amazing multiplayer series in Armageddon, which is Hearts of Iron 2. Okay, so after that I got Hearts of Iron 3, but at some point I didn't get one of the patches. I don't remember which one I, didn't get, and there was a Steam sale at some point, and I saw that the complete pack, including their finest hour, was only like $5 more expensive than just getting the basic game. And that includes just getting the individual expansions were like $3 each, so it was cheaper just to get the entire thing. So I did. I just got the complete version. It always kind of bothers me when you have to buy the whole complete version because that's cheaper than buying like the 2 expansions or the 1 expansion you're missing. But that's alright, that's just the way these games work. They want to incentivize people who aren't currently at all playing the game just to spend their money on it. That's the trick with Steam. So anyways, I'm playing on Hearts of Iron 3 and I'm not playing a modded version. A lot of people might be wondering why, because I've seen a lot of comments about Black Ice, and that's probably the most popular mod right now. This is my reasoning for your first Let's Play series on a channel. I feel like it should be, unless the game is kind of broken or it's desperately in need of a mod, which, let's be honest, our Hearts of Iron 3 is not at all. It definitely does not need a mod to be a successful game. This game has been fun since its release, despite the weird stuff that's been happening, the things that have been patched. Let's just say up until after the first expansion was released, this game has been extremely good. And I think some of the patches before the first expansion solved a lot of the release issues. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I don't think this game needs to be modded, and modding it can make a game better, but I like to do an honest playthrough of a game for my first playthrough on a channel. It gives people the right impression of the game. Just like with Distant Worlds Universe, I wouldn't want to do like the Star Trek Picard era mod, which is a fantastic mod, but I wouldn't want to show that on my channel as the first thing because people might not understand what the basic game is about. So this is going to be a basic game, although it is their finest hour, so it's already heavily modded, but if you just heavily modded by Paradox themselves, essentially. Because a lot of gameplay mechanics changed going from For the Motherland to their finest hour. Now, my experience with Hearts of Iron 3 is pretty extensive, however, not in their finest hour. And there's a huge division, like template design change that happened from For the Motherland to their finest hour. I used to be very good at min-max and extreme. Like I played multiplayer competitively with some people. We had a whole group, and you get very good at. In fact, we had to institute rules so that things weren't so immersion breaking. We had one game I think where France just chose to build like templates of 2 garrison, 1 anti-tank, and 2 garrison, 1 artillery, and that was what they lined their entire front with. It was actually unbreachable by Germany. So, I mean, Germany could make progress, but the progress was incredibly slow. And I think that just really threw Germany off the game, and we had to actually call the game because France's tactic was so successful. So I think that's a good like a microcosm of what min-max can do. It can be very effective, but it can also ruin the game. I don't know the min-max patterns for their finest hour, so take that as a good thing if you want to see me struggle a little bit more, or as a bad thing if you wanted to see someone playing in the most optimal manner. For the most optimal manner, I would have to go back to For the Motherland. Alright, so let's talk about what one of the big things I want to do in this video is give anybody who is interested in this kind of series a chance to suggest a nation for me to play as. Now, I've played as Romania. I've played as who else did I play as? I've played as some of the smaller. I played as China as well. China is a little more interesting. Romania a little bit less so. I played as the minor nations, but if we're being really honest, the best ones to stick to are the major nations, these 7 down here. And then I'm specifically going to eliminate 2 more. I don't want to play as the United Kingdom because they have such a far-reaching empire. It requires a little bit more micromanagement, which is okay for me to do on my own. I don't mind doing that. This game is rewarding enough that the little minor control that you have to do, the time-consuming micromanagement, it really pays off in the end. So I don't mind doing that, but I don't think it'll make for a good Let's Play series on a YouTube channel. So I'm going to eliminate United Kingdom as an option, at least for this first one. I plan on doing even multiple Hearts-of-Iron 3 playthroughs because this is a great game. The other one I'm going to eliminate is France. I just don't find France as interesting. But I think that any of the other 5 we have out, so Germany, of course. Germany is probably the most played nation in Hearts of Iron 3. I think they did a poll based on, not a poll, but the Paradox, or somebody on the forums did a statistics gathering based on after-action reports, AARs. And they found that Germany was twice more played than the second AAR, which was on Russia, I think. I think it was like 60 for Germany, 30 for Russia, and 25 for the United States. It's been a long time, so I don't remember the exact numbers, but that was more or less the trend. So it's a little surprising that, it's not surprising that Germany is the most interesting nation because this is the one who kind of got it wrong, right? Hitler, the what ifs remain, right? If Hitler had given a little more freedom to his generals, or if they had done something different in their push to Moscow, if they had somehow been able to hold Stalingrad. I don't know, there's all these questions that, what ifs, and that's the most interesting scenario to play. So Germany's a great option, but it will be pretty intensive. I plan on doing more than one series, as I've said, so even if you wanted, I could do, the next option is the United States. This is a little more hands-off, so if you're not a huge fan of Hearts of Iron 3, or you want a less intense playthrough, this might be a good option, just because it's like the tutorial version. I find that the United States is like the tutorial version in almost every World War II game. Because they're going to come back and they're going to be successful in the end, but it gives you plenty of time to learn when the war starts. So that's another option. They start with... I really like playing as the United States. In fact, right now I'm playing a series as the United States, which is kind of like my warm-up before we go back into playing on camera. So I'll actually open that in a second. The next option is Japan. Probably even a better option than the United States. One of my favorite nations to play as, to be honest. It's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy bunkering down in the Pacific and building up my forts and stuff to make it so that any kind of counterattack from the United States is impossible. I don't know how the new landing craft system works. I'm not sure how well I'll do with the landing craft system. I'll know that by the time I finish my United States gameplay. But then we also have Soviet Union. It's another favorite of people because it's a lot of fun to just suffer through this immense attack from Germany and try to hold the line. If I play as the Soviet Union, I'll probably have to put the difficulty up to hard because just metagaming, the fact that I know that Germany is going to attack me, something which the Soviet Union did not know for sure, it does mean that you usually end up preparing yourself better than you should, almost. It makes the game a little bit uninteresting if you just immediately win. If Germany never gets past your initial line, or if they only push you back a little ways. That's happened to me several times. Then we have Italy. And Italy's interesting because although she's one of the least powerful of the nations we've been talking about, there's a lot of fun to be had with the naval action in the Mediterranean, and as well, of course, the desert warfare is really fun. It's a really fun theater. But that being said, there are some problems with the Hearts of Iron 3 naval battles. it's probably one of the biggest criticisms of this game is the naval doesn't work as well as it should. So that may bring me into this other option of using the custom games or the historical starts. So I've never used the custom games before. I just tested it out with the United States for the first time. It does allow you to kind of rework your technology, and the reason why I think that would be interesting for Italy is because although she heavily focuses on surface action fleets, so like your battleships, your battle cruisers, the gunships, it seems like, especially as you get into like 1941 and on, that carrier action groups, CAGs, and these are way more effective. Almost lopsidedly so, like maybe overpowered. I know that eventually carriers should be better than battleships and everything, but it seems like the initial problem is even when you have the Mediterranean and this opportunity for heavy ships to go at it, which would be a lot of fun for people to see, the combat system is broken. Now, I don't know how that is in their finest hour, if any improvements have been made. I know that the improvements were the subject of, I think, their second expansion, the one before for the Motherland, which I already forget what it was called, but I don't know how much that helped or maybe even hurt the naval combat system, so... Yeah, anyways, Italy, it might be interesting, what I'm saying is just to rework the technology so that Italy starts with a lot of technology in battle cruisers and battleships. It might be interesting to delete those and instead put more points into aircraft carriers to make Italy's chance at dominating the Mediterranean a little bit better. So that's probably the least interesting option of all 5 that I've said, Italy, but it would also be a pretty quick playthrough because Italy doesn't have a huge scope in the world. Their land battle is mainly with a little bit with France and then just Africa. So it's pretty simple. And maybe you can contribute to Barbarossa, but yeah. So those are the 5 groups that I think that are interesting, the 5 nations. If I go to my current United States playthrough, which also could be interesting just to see, another idea is, hey, if anybody wants to I can post random videos of my current playthrough. Not much is going on. It's 1937. We should have the Spanish Civil War starting. In fact, it has. Good. I probably missed this pop-up even. Happens pretty early on, so it hasn't been decided, but it looks like Nationalist Spain is going to win. And that's par for the course, right? I think that the chance... Oh, wait, this is Republic... Oh, it is Republican Spain. Republican Spain might win, actually. Oh, that's very interesting. So that's not par for the course. I misread this. It's actually owned by Nationalist Spain, the background being the province, which is the owner, but the controller is down here. So yeah, Republican Spain is actually doing really well. They're probably going to end up winning this one. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest, because sometimes it's better if it's a nationalist Spain. It makes Germany more threatening, and that can be helpful for the United States. Anyway, I've just been running this at 5x. I don't almost never run at 5x, and I still pause pretty frequently, so again, just like in Distant Worlds Universe, a very complicated game, just like this one is, I do everything on manual. And I would say that even Distant Worlds Universe is slightly more complicated. Or at least there's more micromanagement that you can get yourself involved in if you want. But I definitely do stay all manual for Hearts of Iron as well. So good, we got Mountain Infantry, and I set up my production, my research, so that we can get capital ships out very quickly, because capital ships do not upgrade. So I experimented also with redoing the text. So how it works with the custom game is you can actually choose, they give you a certain number of points that you start with, and you can choose to basically eliminate some of the text, or, unresearch some text, which gives you points back into a pool, which you can then use to research other texts instead. So what I was saying about with Italy is, I think she starts with pretty good technology in battle cruisers and battleships, but we could turn those away to get better aircraft carriers. So Anyways, that's going to be it for this video, this prelude, so I'll keep pushing through with the United States if anybody's interested in seeing this. Hopefully, I think this will be a very interesting series, though. Hearts of Iron 3, again, it's one of my favorite games. I even put it this way. If I was going to go to a deserted island and I could only take like 2 or 3 games with me, Hearts of Iron 3 would probably be a strong contender, if not a shoo-in, for one of the games I would take. Because, I mean, I think I could play this game for like 10 years. You'd get bored of it from time to time, but then I'd probably just switch on Distant Worlds Universe. So, anyways, thanks for watching this video. If you're interested in more content from Hearts of Iron 3, or specifically if you're interested in a particular nation, go ahead and vote on those. And other than that, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and take care.